I like it when games, if you take quite a while to do something, it gives you a prompt.
Yeah.
I don't know how
This
I feel
does
about
not.
that.
Oh no, Loki.
I don't think I like when a game gives you a prompt if you are fucking up. I feel a bit like, you know, when someone gives you like a riddle or something and then they tell you the answer and you're like, for fuck's sake.
No, I don't want to answer, but sometimes like I'm too tired and I get stuck, so I need a prompt.
Yeah, I think if a game just like is like fuck you, have a guess, and like it doesn't tell you, and you can spend like 8 hours trying to figure out this one.
No, I know, but what's the prompt? The answer or what?
No, like just hey, look over there.
Yeah, what about like what Navi was saying about answer his attack with your own? It's
yeah,
like
that's
a riddle.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't
like
think I don't think games usually do that.
There was a couple of times I was getting really pissed off in Persona 5 because I was in.
Oh.
I was in. Is it Madarame?
Yeah.
I was in his temple and I couldn't distinguish that the paintings were something to go up to. So I spent ages running up and down and refighting enemies, not realizing I had to just go and interact with one of the paintings. And I feel like there wasn't a single prompt or anything.
I genuinely think they might have explicitly said we should jump into the painting.
No.
Yes.
No, I know the bit you're talking about. I'm talking about the bit where it's like a huge room.
Oh, yeah,
and it's like a huge painting. I think it was like a ship.
I think they do tell you to run into it. I think you might have missed it.
They didn't.
I'm pretty sure they did, because I didn't get stuck in that at all. And they talk a fucking lot, like telling you that sort of stuff.
I feel like I got really angry because I couldn't figure it out. I spent ages running around getting upset because I couldn't figure out like why I couldn't figure it out. So.
And they eventually just said.
No, like I just happened to be running past it and I noticed there was a prompt there. What was that?
I forgot that we need a key. Oh,
That's funny.
We need it. Oh. Okay, bye. I'm just gonna say. Sorry, go on.
No. What? I wasn't gonna say anything.
Do you guys like the Gorons?
Yeah, I like them.
They're fine. They're not my favourite.
Do you like the little soul patch?
What colour's the eyes?
Blue? Well, you said purple.
It is.
I thought it was blue.
What colour's Navi? Oh, okay.
She's pink.
She's like, I don't want to be on camera. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Gorons. They aren't my favourite creature in
No.
Zelda. Probably my least favourite.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Okay, my favourite Harry Potter moment is when, like, the last third of Prisoner of Azkaban, the whole time travel bit, and the Marauders. Everything about Sirius and Lupin I love. I wish they would make a film about the Marauders and do it well.
That would be cool.
There's so much like
I'm
story you could
shocked
do
that
there.
they haven't actually.
I'd want them to really keep it to the book though. I feel like they'd probably be more experimental. So,
There's a book.
as in just the Harry Potter books, because there's so much they didn't include in the films.
I hate
their
that you walk
backstories.
up that board so easily and it took me like a minute to struggle.
I think like if something is really tricky with that, it
The board
might help
reminds me
to
of
hold.
the inside of a banana.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you cut it in half.
It does. It
has
looks
the
like
little like spine.
banana
I don't know what you
split.
call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you cook it
Cool.
with some.
I always like wanted to make fufu as well, which is like smashed yams. I'm gonna make it one day. I just need to get a yam.
Isn't fufu slang for like a vagina?
Yeah.
There's all. I was talking about the carrot.
Matrix room.
I was talking about the dish.
Do you remember when Loki, when one of our colleagues brought an aloe vera leaf into work, and it was like this massive spiky plant?
Yeah.
That's the first time I had seen it.
I don't think I've ever seen an aloe vera plant either.
Really? They're everywhere.
Maybe I have them without knowing.
You can wipe the aloe vera juice on your arm and it will heal you.
Have either of you broke anything?
No.
I've broken several bones. I've broken my collarbone, most bones in my feet. because of horses.
Ah.
And I've broken my vertebrae, my middle vertebrae. One of them. Like, it caused a fracture.
You're lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was very painful. I was bedridden for like maybe 2 weeks. It was very painful. I watched all of Game of Thrones.
That's a good way to spend it.
Yeah, and then I was really excited because like I hadn't been watching it. It was like one of those things like when people get so hyped about it, I tend to mistrust it instantly. So I didn't watch it.
What do you think about that trait of yourself?
I don't think it's great, but I feel like it's just like part of me that don't want to follow people. But I think sometimes I must miss out on things. I do like look at them eventually. Like, for example, I looked at not Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad after a while, and I've watched that like 6 times the whole way through. But I waited for the hype to end because I don't want to be affected by what people say about it.
But do you not like think the experience of like going through it at the same time as everyone else is fun because you all get to talk about it?
Well, I started to get pissed off because people won't shut up about it. But it's not just that. I just think people act a bit too ride and die about things.
Yeah. Some things are really cool, like when it's in the peak of the hype, like that like summer when like Pokemon Go first came out, like everyone was out playing Pokemon Go, like that was so cool.
Definitely, like I do think like there's huge good things.
Anti-shot.
But I also think people, it almost feels like you're not allowed to have a negative opinion about something or a criticism when people are that hyped about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
I
can
tend
really see
to
the
just
advantages of both.
yeah. I tend to
I think
just
there are
wait.
more advantages of being in the hype, definitely.
Maybe next time someone... I'm definitely going to be in the same hype train as everyone else when Persona 6 is announced.
Yeah. I think it kind of depends on what it is for me sometimes. Like, with some things, I'd want to, like when new Pokemon Snap came out, I was, like, I was joining in with posting things online and looking at other people's things and stuff. And that was really... I feel like with most things, I don't catch things as they're happening very often.
Yeah, same.
And that was a really cool one. And it was very, like, chilled out as well. I think it can be kind of overwhelming other times.
I guess it depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Well, with Game of Thrones, like, I watched the whole thing in one go, and I enjoyed it so much, I rewatched the whole lot and made Callum watch it with me.
Yeah.
Just as the new season was coming out, and then we watched that episode by episode, and that was very disappointing. And I remember feeling so guilty because I had pressured us to watch as much possible so that we could watch it as it was coming out. And it was just all that built up to kind of nothing. But I can imagine why everyone was so upset who had been watching it for the 10 years that had been coming out.
Yeah, I felt very lucky.
I was smart. I watched Game of Thrones, pretty much in the peak of like when the hype was all happening, like for the earlier seasons.
Yeah.
And I loved seasons 1 to 4. Like that just was all amazing. And I thought season 5 wasn't great. I didn't enjoy it very much. And then when season 6 came out, I started watching it and I was like, I'm not enjoying this as much. And I just dropped it maybe like after watching episode 2 of season 6. So I pretty much I fell off of it before, like when I felt like I stopped liking it. So I missed the whole disappointment feeling. I bailed out before all that, so I only experienced the good stuff.
But I definitely, recently I've become more skeptical of endings and such because I think I was reading Attack on Titan. I've been reading it from quite early on, and I think there was a point where I started to get lost, but I'd read so much of it that I didn't want to just, drop it because I felt like I'd invested too much. And I was not as angry as everyone else got about the ending. I was just disappointed, and kind of whatever about it. but everyone was really upset about that.
Ending long things are very hard. I like,
Yeah.
there's very few long running series that had like a really satisfying, like, perfect ending.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
think
quite rare.
I think what's difficult is I think a lot of authors, they set so much up, and you end up having to close a lot of loose ends.
I feel like when a lot of I feel like in the case of a lot of long running things, like, the ending feels very rushed because a lot of things aren't tied up. But with the author of One Piece, he thought he was going to end it sooner than he thought, like, several times. He thought, like, it's going to end. It'll go on for these many years, but then it didn't end there, and it kept going. And then he was like, I think it's gonna end these many years, but then it didn't end at that point either. So it's kind of like he's not forcing himself to end it at a certain point without properly wrapping up everything or properly telling everything that is supposed to be told in that story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taking his time with it, which is like very daunting for like people to get into it, but it shows that, like, he cares about this thing. He doesn't want to rush the ending. He wants to conclude everything as the way he wants.
Yeah, I think, like, I would rather an author either take their time with things or just end it short before.
It gets too crazy.
Yeah.
That definitely happens a lot.
I know that when I was reading about My Hero, the author said that he has it planned out. And I think he changed the ending because of one of the films, where the way it had been written, he realised that he wanted, I think his literal quote was, "I need to write an ending that's better than the film." So he's pretty much, like, wrote it out, from what I understand. And there is an ending. I think the last time I read about it is, like, in the next 10 chapters it should be ending. And it seems like he is tying a lot of things together. I'm just worried because I didn't enjoy the ending of the film that he said he liked.
With One Piece, like I said, it's nowhere near the end. It is approaching its end, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
he said, like, I think it was like last month, like, it's approaching his One Piece is approaching its final act. But it's hard to like gauge what he means by that, because I think he said something like that before and it's still not over. So I think, to me, that means like maybe 2 years. It might have 2 years left. That's my guess. But yeah.
Spoiler warning for Beastars. I love Beastars, but that's, I think, that went on too long for me. It felt kind of like
way too long.
it was about something, and then it just started like becoming, I didn't know what the goal was anymore and where it was going, and the pacing just became weird.
And it kept introducing too many strange things. Like, I feel like you never really understand where you are with the characters in Beastars. Like, they're animals, but then they have human, like, expectations. But then at some point the author introduces, like, Nen abilities.
Yeah,
And
and
it's
that
not-
was quite near the end.
Yeah, but it's not clear on if because the way the abilities work is they imagine themselves a certain way, right?
Yeah, it's about creating a kind of like
Chimera, she calls
phantom,
it.
chimera.
Yeah. And, like, it was interesting, but it was a bit disappointing because I feel like the thing that was interesting is that they were animals, and then it was adding this whole fantasy kind of thing onto it.
Yeah, it felt like it was kind of started trying to be something that it wasn't to begin with, and this is a big spoiler for the ending. And I still really like it and respect what it is, but Haru says to Lugosi, the protagonist, "I want to marry you so that we can get divorced, so that you can keep chasing me." And I kind of get that it's like a metaphor for, like, you know, the predator and prey and their whole the chemistry between them and everything, but it just feels so like stupid. Of like, she doesn't want marriage, she wants a divorce. It's like, okay, you're a psycho.
It just feels exhausting. Like, the whole dance of it felt exhausting. Like, it felt at one point that there was so much going on, so much introduced. Like, that Nen ability thing, it doesn't matter. Like, they do training montage of it, and he never uses it again.
Yeah.
It's like it's completely
gets dropped.
forgotten. It's just there's so many bizarre things that are put in there and then never come of anything.
Yeah, it felt rushed out and like
And you're like, the only thing you're holding on to the book for in the last few chapters is just to see Legacy.
because you put so much into it.
Yeah,
as well.
and just to see Legacy and Harry like finally confess to each other.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
What the fuck?
It's a fake door.
Do we still have Pringles?
Yeah, they're over there.
Thor
Don't
just gave
you
me the
okay?
most disgusted
sorry,
look.
Thor.
He was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? Look at him."
I can't stop this now.
Loki, that Navi stopped me to tell me this. This room down here is the one that we met Darunia in. And he said, can you do something about that big pillar hanging from the ceiling?
Oh yeah.
Which is this.
Oh yeah.
So we've got to do something about it. Are we... What time is it? Oh, we're still going to Star City?
Actually, it would be interesting to talk about that. Maybe Loki doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
In this temple, originally, in the early versions of the game, the background music for this temple, do you know, like, in Islam, like, they have the prayer chant?
Yeah.
They use that as the music for this temple.
Oh.
Um,
Was it intentional?
I think it was a thing of, like, they thought, oh, this sounds creepy and atmospheric. Let's use it for this temple, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
When it's, like, a positive thing. In the religion, so
It's weird.
they removed it from, like, they
Yeah.
were pretty quick to remove it as the music.
Well,
for this.
they'd
Well,
already printed thousands of
Well, how
copies.
long was
my friend had a copy with
Really?
the original
Wow.
one, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know it was that.
That's
Okay,
version
well, eventually,
1.0.
I didn't know it was that late. Okay, eventually they removed it.
Because those chants are kind of nice. Well, to my ears anyway.
It's supposed to be, and they used it as, like, a kind of creepy context, which I think is quite bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they removed it after a while. I don't know if they received backlash for it or if they just
No.
realised what they have done.
'Cause it's
I
quite
mean,
just-
when I found out about that fact and heard it,
Yeah.
it was very obvious to me. It's like, of course, this is it.
Yeah.
There's no hiding it. Yeah. So they removed it and they replaced it with this theme. That's pretty much it, really. But what's interesting is that on a lot of the items and the like blocks and stuff, they have like the Islamic symbol, like the moon and the star.
Yeah.
And I feel like that. I don't know. That's interesting to me.
I'm surprised at that information. Well, I think I heard it before, but I'm surprised at it still.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few. Oh, like you said, there's the symbol they removed in one version. They removed the music, and there's a third change which we won't say yet.
Oh, yeah.
See ya, folks. That's all. Right, get out.